Guys, welcome to this week's 10-Minute Tuesday. We just did a full podcast with Sam Cederberg. He is a friend of ours, and Sam is not in the industry by any means, but he is a good buddy of ours, and he's a good hunter, and he's been doing it for a long time, since he was a kid. And so one of the questions that I had that I've gotten from other people on Instagram messages is, you guys have a lot of people that are in the industry. You know, I would love to hear someone else's perspective from outside of the industry looking in on what they think about everything. So my question for you, Sam, is what do you think about everything and just like where waterfowl is at and like products and influencers, and
social media,
social media, just like everything, you know, like where are you at on it?
My take on the whole industry is that everyone is too focused on, you know, obviously your sponsors, who you work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're sponsored by First Light or Sitka or X, Y, and Z, any kind of company, not just clothing, you're very particular, more judgmental, right? If you're not wearing that clothing or shooting that gun, you know, it's almost like they think less of you.
Yeah.
And it's not so much about helping the industry or helping people getting in the industry, you know? I guess...
You think they're focused on the wrong things?
Exactly.
Or just influencers in general?
So for like, I mean, you guys have your sponsors, but you guys don't push it. I mean, you have your points in the podcast where you'll bring it up, but it's not like...
If you don't wear this, you're an idiot.
Exactly. I don't wear First Light. I don't shoot a Weatherby. But you guys will obviously tell me how you like your Weatherby or First Light, but you're not going to force it on me. You're not going to think...
I'm not going to hunt with you because you don't shoot a Weatherby.
No,
exactly.
I think less of you for other reasons.
Yeah.
You know, if we're being honest. Yeah. No,
So anyways.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's some
we
real
know
shit.
each other long enough to where I can give you shit like that.
Yeah. I guess so.
But anyway.
It's, I think...
Feels inauthentic, you're saying at times? Or what?
It's like, why would you... I mean... Look at Minnesota waterfowl page or the snow goose migration. It's never like, hey, nice shoot. You did a great job. It's oh, you guys suck. I shot this much today or that or whatever. Pile picks, you know, X, Y, and Z. Like how you can shoot more birds than one another versus, hey, this is what I did because the birds were doing this, or how they set up, or telling the story. You know, there are people out there in the industry that do that, but not enough, you know.
You feel like it's mainly negative?
Yeah, it's not like helping others. Which
it's people yucking your yum.
Exactly. It's like we're all in the same industry. We're all have the same goal.
We have the same passion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to shoot birds. We want to have fun doing it. Don't take it so seriously. You know, help others when you can.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy, and I know you guys talk about it all the time, but taking someone new out hunting, seeing them kill their first bird, there's no... I mean, the joy that comes from that for you, or for when I've taken out people, or when you've taken out people for the first time, there's no bigger joy than that. I would way rather take a new person to shoot a turkey, a deer, a duck, anything, over myself going and shooting a limit. Any day of the week. Any day of the week. And there's not many people like that in the industry.
Well, that's the best thing you can do for somebody.
Yeah.
If you want to try to get more people out hunting, the best thing you can do is put them in a situation where they can actually go hunt.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
and
know?
Everyone's always talking about what can we do for the industry. Ducks Unlimited, Delta, was it Delta Waterfowl, right?
Right.
It's like they're all trying to help the ducks, but the industry itself likes to
dragging
beat down.
people down.
Exactly. You know, it's like, why do you always have to choose hate?
So what can we and other people that are in the industry do better in your eyes, from like your perspective?
Don't get brainwashed that what you're using, what you're doing is the best thing out there, right? Everyone has their ways of doing it, whether you're sitting in a pit blind your whole season or hunting water or hunting a field or, you know, whatever you're doing. I mean, yours is not the right way. Just be open that people are going to be doing something differently. They're not going to shoot as many birds as you. Help them out when they have questions. You know, how many times do you see it on Facebook where someone will be asking a genuine question? Might seem like a stupid question to us, but everyone...
To them, they're new.
Exactly. Everyone in the comments ripping them apart. It's
Right.
like you see one comment out of 20. It's like, hey, this is what you should be doing, or the season opens this date and you can shoot this time.
Have you had a lot of experiences? Because you're younger than us. You're 23, and him and I are 32.
Yikes.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
Old heads.
Thank you, Quabby.
Stay in the closet, buddy.
Thank you, Quabby Closet. Have you reached out to like a lot of people in the industry and gotten like a negative or like a ghosted response?
For sure.
Essentially.
For sure. And I wouldn't say necessarily just waterfowl industry, fishing industry, any kind of outdoor industry. For sure, as a kid, I would reach out on Instagram or DM them or not get a response or, a half-ass answer.
Right.
It's just like, if it was me, I'd want to take the time out of my day to help out a young person in the industry.
Who's trying to learn how to do it.
Exactly. It's like I said, that would bring more joy to me than ignoring them. The fact that someone can see if you saw their DM, that hurts a kid trying to get into it, right? They're never going to reach out again, right? So it's like, don't try to be all high and mighty about who you are or what you're doing. Be there to help others. I mean, it's not the biggest.
Remember where you came from.
Exactly. It's not the biggest industry.
We're very
niche. It's tiny.
We're very niche.
We think
niche market.
We think it's a big industry, but it's really not. And it's like everybody knows everyone. Don't burn a bridge. Be there to help others, regardless of what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I had a situation like that, and we've since talked about it, and he doesn't remember it, obviously. It's like I go to Game Fair, and I'm like learning how to switch from a flute to a short reed. No, I talked about it on the podcast with him, Corey Loeffler. And it was a super hot day at Game Fair, like it almost always is. I was like, hey, I'm trying to switch over from this to this. And I was fully prepared to buy a call from him. And I had probably been sitting with him for God knows how long, probably like 20, 30 minutes. And so finally he's just like, fuck off, in a matter of words. He didn't tell me to fuck off, but he's just like, man, you just got to practice with it and figure it out for yourself. Because he was giving me pointers and whatever, and it stuck with me, and it hurt. It really hurt me.
Yeah, you remember that stuff as a kid. I mean,
yeah,
for how passionate we are for what we're doing, that's our main hobby. Right. You're gonna remember stuff like that.
Also,
forever.
though, 20, 30 minutes, he gave you a good run.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And like looking back on it, hindsight, I'm just like, wow, I was a kid who thinks that this guy should give me all of his time when there's 15 other people in the booth that are just fanboying over him, and he's like, man, just figure it out, And now having being at Game Fair for God knows how many years, and how hot it is, and how long those days are,
and how many people you're trying to talk to,
right? It's a lot, and so I understand why he did what he did, and he actually did put in a lot of time with me. But what I'm scared of is that there are so many people that are going to take that and be like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm done with this.
For
This
sure.
guy is a fucking asshole. I'm never duck or goose hunting again in my lifetime.
Yeah,
but I'm lucky enough to where I took that and I'm like, I'm gonna show this guy.
Yeah,
like I can do this. Yeah.
And
so, but not everyone's going to be like that. And so when you do treat people like that, you have to be careful and like understand
how much it might mean to them.
Exactly. I mean, for you it means very little, but for them it could mean everything, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sure that Cal and I have done it, and especially like at trade shows and shit. And it's just like
it happens. You got a lot of people reaching out. You can miss something or be having a bad day, but just remember, it's just like in sports. Kid saves up all his money to go watch their favorite player, and they choose to sit out, not necessarily because they're injured, but take a break. Like Kobe always said, he played every game, played every game he could because people are paying their hard-earned money to come watch him, right? So the people that are taking time out of their day to go see you guys at Game Fair or anyone else at Game Fair and to talk to you, they've been thinking about that for a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to talk to you guys. But to you, you don't even know who they are. So it's just be kind to everyone. Talk.
Right.
I mean, maybe if it's just a minute conversation, 30 seconds, it's better than nothing. And it means a lot more to them than it would to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Sam, that was a great reminder for sure. And I definitely
appreciate the honesty too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that it does happen a lot. Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of people are busy, but you're right. It is that one moment that could make or break that, person being more interested in hunting.
Yeah.
And Cal and I have talked about it a lot, and especially when we started Midwest Flyways with Connor. Like, what is our why? You know, like, why are we doing this? Are we doing it to become famous? Are we doing it to like make money? Are we doing it to get more people into the sport? And we're in our 9th or 10th year of doing this now. 9th year of doing this now. And we concreted that in year 1 in like the first month.
That was,
Honestly,
it was the first thing we did.
It was the first thing we did. And Connor was really good about that stuff. He's like, why are we doing this? What is our purpose? Like, what is our goal? And like, truly our goal is to pass on the traditions that were passed on to us to continue the sport of waterfowling.
Exactly.
You know, it's not the money. It's not the gear. It's not the notoriety. It's not, and Gavin's looking at me like he always does. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that what we're doing makes waterfowling more accessible to the masses.
Absolutely.
You know? And so I think that's important for everybody to remember, especially us.
Yeah.
You know?
You just got a daily reminder. You know, people forget. You get so into it that...
Well, you're also running a business.
Yeah, for sure.
At the same time.
And you have your bad days, right?
Yeah.
And just remember that the person you're talking
it's
to,
bigger
the
than
kid
us.
that's reaching out.
It's bigger than us.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's bigger,
a lot bigger
us,
than you think.
For sure. No, so thank you so much for coming on. If you guys haven't seen the podcast with Sam Cedarberg, go and listen to that. It's on YouTube, Spotify.
In 2 days.
In 2 days.
Right, because it's on Tuesday, and then the full will come out on Thursday.
Oops, my bad.
But do go listen to it.
Do go listen to it. It's a really good one. And thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.